Welcome in, everybody, on this Sunday, early Sunday afternoon, I should say. Typically, this show is done on Thursdays, but Scott, to my left over here, or to my right, um, he is
Welcome in,
fact
everybody.
in Buffalo currently for the Bills Jets game. And I don't think that picture over here is too far off from how he currently looks. I was on FaceTime with him earlier, and the scoot is loose in Buffalo, needless to say. Wanted to go ahead and throw this up there. We didn't have time to do kind of our ordinary show on Thursdays, but wanted to get the recap up there just for clarity, transparency. Last week, Scott positive again, having a great run on this year. You can check out his record. He's been absolutely killing it. Um, we're not going to go too deep into the games today. It's only 10 games that we're talking, and obviously I am missing my co-host, so it'll be fairly quick. I have his picks, so I'll put his picks up at the end as normal, just like mine, as we normally do. But unfortunately, his analysis, highly unfortunate that his analysis currently is not going to be able to be broadcast here. But first game we're going to talk is the Cowboys-Eagles. Scott has the Eagles minus 7.5. I'm going with the Cowboys plus 7.5. Jalen Hurts is out for the Eagles. You got Saquon going for Eric Dickerson's single season rushing record. So it should be a good game. Cooper Rush is actually a very good quarterback, believe it or not. He's not turned the ball over since he's been in this year. He's been able to sort of salvage the Cowboys season somewhat, but he hasn't had too much success against the Eagles in the past, so should be a good matchup. I do not think the Cowboys will probably get the win, but I think they'll get the cover here. Jets and the Bills, where Scotty Boy is right now up in Buffalo. I hate to do it. I'm going to have to go with the Jets on this one. I'm taking the Jets plus 10. I like the under here as well. Scott is going with the Bills, I believe. I'm gonna go with the under for the show, under 45.5. I don't want to go against Scott while he's up there in Buffalo supporting the Bills for this one. So he's going Bills minus 10. I'm going with the under on that one, taking it back. Next game we got here is the Raiders Saints. Raiders Saints. We're both on the Raiders in this one. Saints too much to overcome. No Derek Carr, no Alvin Kamara. They got nothing to play for. They got absolutely embarrassed last week up in Lambeau. Got shut out 34-0. National primetime TV there. They are back home for this one, but unfortunately, I just think the Raiders are on a different trajectory right now. They're coming off a win last week. Antonio Pierce got them. I won't say got him rolling, but he's got them together. Aiden O'Connell, quarterback, formidable. He is basically interviewing at this point for jobs elsewhere next year, potentially as a starter or just a backup, or if he's going to be the starter for the Raiders, probably going to take a quarterback with one of their first picks in that first round, either Cam Ward or Shador, Sanders, whoever's there. So it'll be interesting there, but I like the Raiders in this one. Scott does as well. Moving on, we got the Giants. The Giants taking on the Colts. No Anthony Richardson in this one, so it's going to be Joe Flacco getting the start up in the Meadowlands. It's cloudy today, so there's been a big thing lately about Giants fans flying banners around the stadium during game day, trying to get some things to happen, whether that's the GM being fired, the coaches being fired, just something. They need something to happen. Something's got to change. They haven't won a game all year at home. They're 0-8 right now. This is their last home game of the year. I think you're going to see a team that wants to win. I think you're going to see a team that plays a competitive game today. The Colts will probably get it done. 7.5 is a lot, though, for me. I think this Giants team has something to prove. Drew Lock, specifically at quarterback for the Giants, I think he's got some swagger to him. I don't think he's going to go down lightly in this one. And the Colts, I mean, they've been up and down all year long. Give me the Giants. Give me the Giants plus 7.5. Scott is going with the Colts minus 7.5. So you got a head-to-head there. Buccaneers, Panthers. Real quick, also, I see you in the chat. Gator Dave, how you doing, sir? How about them Cowboys? Ian, what's up, my brother? I will see you shortly. And Evelyn, always good to see you. Always good to see you. I'm trying to. I got to get with you too, Evelyn, because we got to make something happen before Joseph heads back out west. So, on another note, we got to get that going. All right, moving on. We got Panthers, Buccaneers. Buccaneers are at home. There's a little bit of beef between these two teams. Obviously, you get a division rival. You get these division teams. They're all pretty much rivals of each other. They play twice a year. They're very familiar. Things kind of got a little shifty in that Carolina Panthers Bucks game at the end of the game last time they played earlier this year. I think this one's going to be heated. Carolina is playing one of the the last 8 weeks of football, 6 to 8 weeks of football, Carolina is arguably one of the better teams in the NFL. If you look outside of wins and losses and you look at numbers and you look at how they've played these games and the teams that they had to go against in terms of winning records, they've played. Bryce Young is getting the nickname of Carolina Reaper now because he is getting coaches fired, eliminating teams from the playoffs. I don't think they're going to eliminate the Bucks in this one. But again, they don't have too much to play for. They can leave it all on the line. They can sell out in this one and kind of go for it. Whereas the Bucks, they're in a position now. They have to win. They have to win to try to get that wild card. The Falcons are probably going to win the division, which is also crazy that Kirk Cousins got benched. That's another thing. I'll get to that in a second. Scott is going to go the Buccaneers -10. I'm going to go the under 47.5 here. I think it's going to be hard-nosed. It's going to be competitive. The teams have already played each other the first time, so I think they know what to look for. They know how to match up a little bit. A lot of tape on these teams playing each other in the division. A lot of tape. We're in week 17 now of the season, so there's plenty of things that they can focus on, plenty of things that they can avoid. Give me the under 47.5. Next game, we got the Titans and the Jaguars. Titans are going down to Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence, obviously done for the year. They sat him down with his injury, with his injured shoulder, his collarbone thing going on. Titans, Will Levis is the backup right now. Mason Rudolph is going to get the start. This is a revenge game for Calvin Ridley. Going back to Jacksonville, he has made it a point this week that he wants to show out in a big way down there in Jacksonville. I'm going to go with Mason Rudolph. I'm going to go with Mason Rudolph in the vet and the quarterback. The Titans have a better defense. They've been top 5, top 10 defense all year long. It's really just been the offense that's been their main issue. I think they overcome that in this one, and I just can't trust Mac Jones to be a starting quarterback in the NFL, let alone with the team that the Jaguars have. I can't do it. Give me the Titans money line to go down to Jacksonville and get it done. Scott is also on the Titans. Next game we got is my Fins. In a must-win situation, they're going to Cleveland to take on the Browns. We're going to be without Tua. Tua's hurt, so it's going to be Tyler Huntley getting the start at quarterback. Anybody other than Tua at quarterback for the Dolphins, and it's been absolutely abysmal in terms of offensive production this year. I really don't think that there's going to be any sort of difference in this one, especially going up to Cleveland. It's going to be cold. Cleveland has a hard-nosed defense. I don't think there's going to be a lot of offense. The total, I believe, was sitting at 33.5 when we were picking these games, and that's I can't do it. It's extremely too low. I get it. This could easily be a 15-9 type of game, 13-9. I could totally see it. It's going to be nothing but field goals, nothing but sloppiness. I think the Dolphins find a way to get it done. I really don't know how. I don't really love this pick. I would lean towards the under, but it's just the total is way too low. So I'm going to go with the Dolphins money line to find a way to get it done in Cleveland. But man, it's not looking great for the Dolphins' playoff chances right now. I'll just say that. Scott is also on the Fins. We got 3 games left here. Going to probably the 3 biggest games of this weekend, or what's left of this weekend. We got Vikings-Packers playing at 4:25 Eastern Time. Vikings are a 1-point favorite. They're playing at home. I'm going with the Vikings. I like the Packers. I think they're going to be a problem in the playoffs for some team, whoever they match up with. The Vikings at home is a different beast. It's just not something that I want to get in front of at all. Packers have had a little bit of injury issues. They are the youngest team in the NFL. We've talked about it all year long. I think this is one of those games that leadership, veteran, I think it plays a role here. So go ahead and give me the Vikings money line at home. You got Aaron Jones. He wants to again show out against his former team, the Packers. He didn't get to do a Lambeau leap in Green Bay when he went back there. I look for him to have a big game here in this one, in this rematch, in the second matchup that these teams are going against. Also, I believe in this one, if the Vikings win, I think it sets up next week, the last week of the season, a matchup between the Vikings and the Lions, which would be for not only the division, but I think maybe even the 1 seed for the NFC. So potentially major playoff implications on the line in this one. But give me the Vikings. Scott is going the Packers +1 on the road. We got Sunday Night Football. Commanders taking on the Falcons. Commanders are at home. They are a 3.5-point favorite over the Falcons, led by Michael Penix Jr., who is taking over as starting quarterback for Kirk Cousins. The biggest thing here, though, for me is the Falcons' defense. The Falcons' defense, Raheem Morris, the head coach, he is a defensive mind. He apparently has been more of a focal point and taken a heavier role in the defensive side of things over these last 2 or 3 weeks. Which is why you see the Falcons make this major swing in terms of defensive production. I think that's going to be a huge factor here against Jaden Daniels. They're going to need it. On the flip side, for Washington, you got Dan Quinn, old Falcons head coach. He's going against his former team with a chance to really kind of stick it to him, stick it to a rookie quarterback. Commanders have a chance to increase that momentum going into the playoffs. I think they're able to do so. They do have a lot of injuries, though, that they're dealing with right now in terms of the Commanders. Could play a factor. I think Bijan's going to have a big game for the Falcons. I think the Commanders find a way to get it done at home. I think being at home, being at night, being in the elements, I think that's going to be a big factor for this team against this Falcons team. Coming from a dome, they're riding high right now, but not really so much on the offense. Again, the offense has not done too much. And the offense, when they benched Kirk Cousins for Michael Penix, offense is a top 10 offense this year. Very strange. I mean, I understand the production wasn't what it was at the beginning of the year, but for how long Kirk Cousins has been a vet, for them to make that shift and them to make that shift now moving into the playoffs, very interesting. I feel like there's something more to that they're not letting out of the locker room necessarily. But give me the Commanders -3.5. I'm all about Jaden Daniels. He's going to win Rookie of the Year. If Saquon, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, if those 4 guys weren't having the year that they were, you'd be talking about Jaden Daniels potentially winning not only Rookie of the Year, but MVP. He's having that good of a year. So I think he continues that. I think Commanders are going to be a problem in the playoffs. They could definitely sneak one away from somebody in that first round. So give me the Manders -3.5 to get it done tonight, Sunday Night Football. Scott is also on the Manders -3.5. Moving into the last game of the week, we got Monday Night Football tomorrow night. Lions are making the trip out west to take on the playoff eliminated San Francisco 49ers. Navosky, what's up, brother? I see you in the chat. How you doing, man? Thank you for joining on with us on this beautiful Sunday early afternoon before kickoff. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. The 49ers are done. They're burnt. Too many injuries. Obviously, they're eliminated. What do they have to play for? Not too much other than pride. I think that you will see a 49ers team not back down, not lie down. They're going to play with the Lions. They're going to compete the best that they can. But the Lions, man, they're a different beast. They don't look past teams. And this is one team that, even based on the record, with the 49ers, it's not a team that anybody can look past, anybody can take lightly, and Dan Campbell and these Lions know that. They're not going to mess around. They're going to go into San Fran, get this win, move into next week with the position to play for that 1 seed, to lock that first round bye up going into the playoffs, to lock up home field through the playoffs. This is a big win for the Lions, I think, coming tomorrow night. I just don't see how the 49ers can keep this close. Too many injuries, and the Lions just have too much to play for. So give me the Lions -3.5. Scott is also on the Lions -3.5. And yes, I did my best. I did my best to find a picture of Scott that sums up kind of what he's going through right now in Buffalo, prior to this Bills Jets game, without also just, taking too many shots at him. So I think I think I did pretty good with that pick, personally. All right, let me throw up the recap for this week. We only got 10 games this week instead of the 12 because we missed the Thursday night game, and then there were a couple games yesterday, Saturday games that we didn't get to talk to because we're doing the show now. So only got 10 instead of our usual 12. We'll have 12 again next week for the final regular season of NFL football next week. So definitely tune in for that. The college show, I just want to make a quick announcement for my people that are watching live right now. The college show for this week will be tonight. It will be tonight, Sunday, December 29th at 8 p.m. We're going to do it right along the kickoff of the Commanders-Falcons Sunday night football game. We're going to talk 13 games. The reason we're doing it tonight rather than tomorrow night is because there's a matchup, Iowa and Missouri, that play Monday at 2:30. So we want to make sure that we get that in there. Because ultimately, if we get those in there, we're talking every college football bowl game, Gator Dave and I. So we're trying to stick to it. So tonight will be the show for college football. Pick 'em. Make sure you tune into that. It's going to be probably about 8 p.m. Eastern. Check out the recap over there. We got 5 that we are like-minded on. We got, 4 that or 3 true head-to-heads, and then, I had to throw some unders in there. So that's it. That's a condensed show this week. Quick. We're in and out. 20-minute show. Boom, bam, boom. I pray for this guy's safety today in Buffalo. I hope he makes it back to Denver in one piece. And I think I'll have to join him next year for wherever they're at. It looks like he's having a ton of fun. So make sure to tune in next week. Make sure to tune in tonight for the college show. Good luck today. Thank you to everybody who jumped in the chat with me. I appreciate it. Thank you. Make sure to shopcya.com. Shout out to Evelyn giving me the reminder. Shop CYA, our sponsor. Check them out. They got all sorts of goodies. I appreciate y'all. We'll see you later tonight.